Monday, September 16th, 2019 meeting of the Hammond Plan Commission meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Roger Brock, Dean Budden,
Here.
Michael Dye, Ann Herbert,
Here.
William Hutton,
Here.
Sharon Zaney,
Here.
Pete Torres, Thomas White,
Here.
5 present. We have a quorum.
Mr. President, just for the record, with only 5 members present and a quorum, any vote taken would have to be a unanimous vote.
Thank you, Brian. Approval of the minutes for the August 19th, 2019 meeting, please.
President, I make a motion to approve the minutes of August 19th, 2019. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Old business. CP 19-06, petition of Monahan Capital for determination on abandonment and extending the 1-year period of a legal non-conforming use in an R-1U urban single-family residential district located at 5945 to 5947 Heisler Place within the city of Hammond, Lake County, Indiana. And if the petitioner has anything new,
Notifications?
have the notifications been met?
Yes, they have.
I'm sorry?
Yes, they have.
They have, thank you. And if the petitioner has anything new since the August meeting, if you want to step forward and state your name, address, and then please sign in.
Okay, great. My name is Dennis Moynihan. Hello, everyone. New developments since last time. Last Planning Commission meeting, we spoke on that we purchased the lot directly behind our 5945 High Slot property, which is the current vacant single-family home. Over the past month, we've worked with engineers and got a sign-off from the city engineering part to put 16 parking spots on that lot. So now moving forward, we have 16 parking spots directly behind the building. We have signed agreement for 20 spots at the church directly north of that on the corner of Waltham and Park. And then we have 6 for North Township Trustee. So that's 16 plus 20 plus 6, all within 300 feet. That's 42 spots. And then we also have 15 signed from First Presbyterian Church for a total of 57 signed parking spots. Thanks.
Thank you. Any questions from the commissioners? Questions from the commissioners? Hearing none, we'll move on to the staff report.
Mr. President, I believe we should hear from our city engineer on the traffic study that was a request, or was part of the reason for the tabling at the last meeting.
Yes, Mr. Button, if you could give us a recap, I guess, of your study that you did that was requested at the last meeting.
Certainly, Mr. President, and I was figuring that this was part of the staff comments anyway, since I also
I realize
am a staff member.
all the board members got a copy of your report.
Yep.
You could just hit the highlights.
Basically, I reviewed the report based upon the residents' concerns over increased traffic volumes as a result of the development, the redevelopment of the 5945 High Slip. And it's a little bit difficult to actually break down local roads in terms of what is required or what is allowed. I talked to a fellow traffic engineer, and there are parameters in the neighborhood of about 1,500 cars per day. Now, that sounds like a lot of cars per day, but it turns out to be quite a few, or a very few number of cars in terms of hourly traffic. So I looked at that and estimated the 42 additional cars that were going to be in the area. But what's unique about this situation is they're not all starting and stopping from the same location, which kind of benefits the area. The other thing I looked at was that Park Place is one-way southbound, where High Slip is one-way northbound. And there has been some discussion in the city to convert streets that are currently one-way in the so-called downtown area to two-way streets. My review of this location is that I would not make that recommendation at this time. I would support that we continue with one-way traffic flow at each roadway, each southbound on Park Place, northbound on High Slip, and that the additional cars per hour at this location would not exceed a low-volume local traffic standard, which is significantly less than 1,500 cars per day. In fact, I compared it to Kenwood, which we do have traffic data on, of about 533 cars per day, and I believe that this will see a lot less traffic in that end. And so it's my recommendation to leave the streets as one-way streets, and that the additional traffic proposed for the development will have no significant impact on the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Button. Any questions from the commissioners? Again, any questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to the staff report.
Just a quick summary of the background, just by saying that and as well as the presentation of Mr. Moynihan tonight, that they have provided documentation for the 42 parking spaces in the specified locations. The layout of the parking lot on Park Place meets most of the parking lot standards. There are issues with in our zoning regulations of the landscaping buffers that are required when you have a non-residential use abutting residential property in residential districts. And some of those provisions would have to be addressed through the Board of Zoning Appeals. The parking lot itself would require a variance of use from the Board of Zoning Appeals, which is then always forwarded to the City Council for a final approval. Also noted, as in the presentation tonight, that the 42 spaces were off-street and within the 300-foot distance that's required by zoning. So I do have a findings of fact prepared. Shannon, do you have that? As that is being distributed, basically the findings of fact is in concert with all of the steps that we have taken over the 2 previous meetings and some of the staff discussions that are summarized as they have been tonight. So the staff recommendation is that first of all, the petitioner has provided sufficient information to address the parking for the redevelopment of the 28-unit apartment building. Staff recommends that the Plan Commission move to approve the extension of the nonconforming status of the property, commonly known as 5945 to 57 Hyslop Place, on the following conditions. 1, approval by the city staff of the final design of the parking lot to be constructed at 5948 Park Place. 2, the petitioner maintaining control and providing at least 42 off-street parking spaces through either ownership or lease. And 3, the petitioner obtaining a variance of use to use the lot at 5948 Park Place as a parking lot. So the recommendation of the staff for motions is to adopt the findings of fact document as has been passed out, as well as the staff report. Both of those together come to form the findings of fact, and then make a motion to agree to or approve the extension of the nonconforming status pursuant to the
3 conditions.
with the 3 conditions, all that in pursuant to Title Section 17.60 of the zoning ordinance.
Mr. Chairman, I would just not necessarily have a question, more of a statement, and that is that I had reviewed the plan prepared, actually suggested in terms of the parking lot layout for the lot that was recently purchased, made suggestions on how that would be, and as Brian said, there were some configurations that we need to work out with regard to landscaping, but also we need to consider a variance on the parallel parking section, and that is primarily based on the fact that our zoning ordinance only allows for traditional stall style parking and off-street parking, not for parallel style parking. And those spaces are generally about 7 feet wide, or they are 7 feet wide. And so that would be an additional variance we'd have to seek, all still consistent with the staff recommendations.
Any other questions? Mr. Hutton, you were...
I'm just navigating through this. I'll learn how to read a drawing sooner or later. Thank you.
Okay. I'll ask any further questions? Hearing none.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Button.
I would move to approve the extension of the nonconforming status of the property, commonly known as 5945 to 47 Hyslop, on the conditions that approval of the city staff of the final design of the parking lot constructed at 5948 Park Place, that the petitioner maintain control and provide at least 42 off-street parking spaces through lease or ownership, as we've seen up to this point in previous presentations, and that the petitioner obtain a variance of use for the parking lot at 5948 Park Place as a parking lot. I so move.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there public comment?
Roll call.
Can I just, real quick, for second condition, the 42 off-street parking places through ownership or lease should be within the 300 feet as required by ordinance, and I just want that clear on the record as opposed to years from now, what did they mean? We meant 42 spots. I think what you mean is 42 spots
Within 300 feet.
within 300 feet.
I amend my motion to so state.
Roll call.
You agree to that?
Second.
Thank you.
Dean Button,
Yes.
Ann Herbert,
Yes.
William Hutton,
Yes.
Sharon Zaney,
Yes.
Thomas White,
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions,
Miss-
motion passed.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Butler.
I would move to accept the staff report as written and to also adopt the findings of fact.
You're referencing the separate document, correct?
Correct.
And so the staff report and the two together form the final findings of fact.
Yes, sir.
We did have a second.
Second.
So I thought. Roll call, please.
Dean Button,
Yes.
Ann Herbert,
Yes.
William Hutton,
Yes.
Sharon Zaney,
Yes.
Thomas White,
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
Moving on, we have no new business. Correspondence, Brian?
Public doesn't get a chance to speak its mind at this time,
There's public comment coming up.
but you passed the petition, is that correct?
Without hearing us?
Without hearing any of the citizens.
Right. Because you don't live there, right? You don't live in 595 Fort Harper, right? You have some
You'll be
there.
able to comment at public comment. There was no public hearing, we've had two of them,
But we're allowed to speak, we have new information.
and you're gonna be allowed to speak in public comment.
Well, welcome to the train.
You know, you can take a decision without me saying what we have to say. You don't want to hear us, but we can prepare, right?
We've heard for two different meetings from,
You've heard them for free, and you don't let us say anything.
Call for the order of the day. Move on, please.
move on to,
I'm calling for the order of the day.
Oh, this is very democratic, thank you.
was there correspondence, Brian?
No correspondence.
Commissioners' comments? No, sir. Staff comments?
Just to advise the Plan Commission that we will have an October Plan Commission meeting. And at this point, we're going to have 3 items on the agenda. Also to point out that our October meeting is normally would be the 21st of October, but due to some actions by the Common Council and changing their meeting dates in October, we are going to move the October meeting to Tuesday, the 22nd. Same time, same place.
Anything further, Brian?
No.
Public comment, and I would ask that come up and state your name and address, sign in, and please only add anything new that you've already been forward in the past. We have copies of items, we have minutes, so only new items, please, and we'll have a 5-minute limitation.
Well, I think the first thing we should note is that you did not allow public comment.
Could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Tom Yule, 5943 Park Place. Pardon me while I write in. You know, profanity is something that's coming to mind. Now, here we are in a democratic society, and you guys have just run over it. I don't know what else to say. You're all stone-faced. You know, I was going to come up tonight and discuss the idea that that you have not considered everything. And yet you're going to put this in my neighborhood. You're going to put this across the street from my house. None of you are going home tonight to our neighborhood. You're going home to your houses. You are going to pull into your driveways, into your garages, or park on the street and go directly to your home. Did a lot of research before coming in here tonight, and everything in the research says in a high rental neighborhood, which they have accepted, will tilt our neighborhood. You will drive out the homeowners and you'll bring in more slum landlords. That's what's going to be the result, and all the research shows it. Just like it shows that home ownership is the basis of every community, what holds it together. And we have a community, and you're in the process of tearing it down, just like they've done in every poor community in the sake of a few development dollars and terribly little taxes. In any case, you didn't consider the tenants at all that are going into this building. And you haven't listened to Veronica and my charge of overdubbed garbage. This is a letter I sent to the mayor's office this week before last. It's not the first letter, but the 3rd District gets no effort whatsoever when it comes to getting code violation out there when landlords leave garbage in the alley for weeks. And we have a dozen apartment buildings on those 2 blocks. That's disgusting. It takes a letter to the mayor to even get anything done. And the best part of this was that the landlord cleaned it up? No. City trucks cleaned it up. I paid for my own complaint. It's quite lovely. I also had some questions that I wanted to ask the attorney and the planning commissioner, because obviously you didn't want to hear from us anymore. I just want to say that our next letter will be going to the mayor tomorrow and show him that you have shut down public comment on this issue. This is taking money out of our community, ruining our community, and lessening it. And you don't care, because you don't live there. What you did tonight was despicable. You could have at least given us the indifferent attention of listening to our complaints. And you couldn't do that. These tenants are going to go through alleys to get to their door. They are going to be sitting ducks. That's what you've done. You haven't guaranteed them snow removal. You sure in the heck haven't addressed the issue of getting from the Pentecostal church to their door through a narrow gangway that has blind spots and is not in repair. These were the questions we simply wanted you to consider. And you could not even show us the respect of listening. This is not democracy. This is not citizen participation. This is a railroad job by people who have money in this town. And they're not even going to keep it here. You have Gary, you have Chicago, East Chicago, you have Hegwish, all the same thing, this model. They'll come in, suck the money out, and the people who are going to be living there are going to be ducks, and it's going to take just 1 or 2 incidents where somebody gets stuck up or shot or killed getting home, and it's going to be on your heads because you wouldn't even listen to the people who live in that neighborhood.
Your 5 minutes are up.
I'm sure it is. Thank you.
Please state your name and address, please.
My name is Mary Kaminsky. I live at 5957 Park Place. I need to sign in. I don't agree with you guys doing this. I really don't. I'm going to say it like this. there goes my neighborhood, right? Really, you guys didn't even consider what any of us have to say. My block is quiet, okay? I can go outside and I could drop a pin and you will hear it. So not only is it gonna be, we have problem with problem with the people getting to their homes in that apartment building. The alleys ain't even really lit. The alleys are in bad shape. I mean, I'm not happy, that's for sure. All the noise, there's gonna be a lot of traffic down my block, a lot more than what there is already. You think I really want that? I mean, I would love my neighborhood to stay peaceful. But I guess you guys don't care what other people got to say, huh? Thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name and address, please.
Yes. Ethel Bansell, 5954 Park Place.
Go ahead.
Okay. You all get to vote here, right? I have a saying about my blog. Did you take the time to drive by? Did you check it? Have you checked the alleys? I bet you no, right? No is the answer. So you make the call, but you don't know what you're talking about? Okay, you know what? I came today out of respect for them, because I know you guys, you sitting what? David, you know what you were doing before, and I know you already knew that you're gonna authorize all this crap, So that's why I thought today you're not showing up. Because I know you guys, you already decide or something, you don't have any idea, you don't live there, you don't care. Well, I guess we're gonna sell now and take off. I'm tired of living in Fort Knox. I have my spray in my purse, I have my police baton. When I get out of the house and walk my dogs, I have 3 security cameras and I'm taping. I tape all the cars speeding, I tape in all the cars after 9 o'clock driving against the one-way because they think nobody's watching and The people of Hislop right now, the first building, they're parking on the curb by the park, Harrison Park. Forsyth Park, the neighbors of Forsyth Park and Riverside Park, they have on the park curb side, no parking at any time. Why we don't have them here, the signs in Harrison Park? All this week, I'm driving by these cars from Hislop, from the first building, right? They're all parked on the park, because there's no parking lot. So everybody now in the new building that they're gonna open and rent, everybody's gonna be parking on Harrison. We need bump speeds, because we have the kids playing with the bikes, we have the dogs, and we have the cats, and we have all the circus, okay? We need bump speeds, because they keep speeding. They go 40, they go 45. These people, they are insane. They don't even look. They go and guess the one-side traffic. We need a special cop. We need a cop there 24 hours, because I'm tired of being vigilante there with my cameras and taping everything. Who cares, right? You don't. You don't even know. You vote and you don't know what you're talking about, because I bet you guys, you didn't take the time to, right, miss? Go Park Place and visit the disgusting alley if you can, right? Oh, by the way, the day we had the meeting the other day, you remember me because I'm the one that speak over the 5 minutes, right? I didn't have enough time because previous coming there, here to the meeting, I went on Hislop, right? And I'm looking around, this lady comes out with a pink suit. She was having an open house in the first building in Hislop, right? That is already open. So she asked me if I came from the open house. So I'm like, yeah, sure, right? And then she tells me that she can show me the next building, the one that we're talking right now about, because she said this open house is for the business, the building next door that is opening soon. And she told me she was the owner. She's an Oriental lady, you know, pink suit, okay? She gave me her phone number and everything. So I guess I left the open house thing the other day, you know, guys, how come they already have these people on open house? Huh? If you guys, you haven't come to a decision, this is all baloney. You guys, you know what you're doing, you know, because why else this woman is having an open house for a building that, you know, they haven't known at that time if it was open. You know, this, you know, politicians, whatever. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Daniel Brown. I live at 5957 Apartment 1B. I've been living here for 30 years. Okay, when that building went down, our crime went down. Now we have to deal with the new building back again. We have to deal with the Montessori school, which parks cars down Waltham Street every day. And then we got to deal with Eggers getting out of school. Now you want to bring in the building again? These people don't even stop at the stop signs. They just drive quicker than, and traffic, we have very little traffic on our street. Now you're going to increase our traffic to make it even harder. We have young kids, they run across the street. Some of these people don't even slow down. They just drive like maniacs. And our traffic around our neighborhood, Monday through Friday, is real bad. Got the Montessori school, like I said, and we got to deal with Eggers. And the traffic around there, we have no room. When Montessori school gets out, you can't get alongside Harrison Park. One whole lane's shut down because cars are waiting to get their kids. Now you want to bring in more cars. I mean, come on, guys. Our crime rate is down. After that building got shut down, our crime rate went down, believe me. We used to have shootings in the park all the time. People getting beat up. And now you want to bring these people in. I had a father-in-law that owned a lot of apartment buildings up here. He got rid of them all because the problems up here are bad. We have a very high crime rate in our neighborhoods. The neighborhoods around us are bad. Our block, Park Place, is a quiet block, quiet. We've never had too many problems in our neighborhood. But now you're going to open up this building, which my father-in-law used to own 20 years ago. He got rid of it because of the problems he was having with it. John Conway used to own that building. That's my ex-father-in-law. He sold it because of all the problems that building was bringing into our neighborhood. And that's all I got to say. But if you guys want to decide to do this to us, I have a hard enough time trying to sell my house as it is. You're going to bring in more problems in my neighborhood. I won't be able to sell my house. The city's going to come in and tear my house down because I ain't going to be able to get rid of it. I lived in my house for 30 years. My kids don't even want to live up here anymore. They all moved down south with their mother because our neighborhood is, you're going to bring these people into our house, our neighborhood. It ain't right. But like I said, my father-in-law used to own that building with Jeff Stocker 20 years ago. And they got rid of it because of the problem of that building. It's a big problem. We already got 2 big apartment buildings in that neighborhood now, besides the one on Waltham. And you're going to bring in a 3rd big building. I mean, I'm sorry. You're going to increase driving on our block. You're going to increase the parking problems. I can't see someone parking a parking lot over by the church and walking all the way down the street to go to a building. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. So that's all I got to say. Thank you very much.
Good evening.
You want to state your name and address, please?
My name is Ernie Dillon. I reside at 5963 Park Place. On behalf of our citizens in the Harrison Park area and Park Place and High Slop in particular affecting this issue, we want to thank you for giving us the opportunity for voicing our opinion. Although the decision has been made, the results are that you're going to be moving forward on allowing this time frame to carry on and the apartment building on High Slop to be completed. And with that, the parking spaces have been discussed and also determined where those are going to be, and that's part of the motion, if that's my understanding. And in conclusion to that, just so I got an understanding what we're dealing with here, and in particular, my concern is everyone has their own individual reasons and concerns about this location and the parking areas and what it's going to do to our street on Park Place in particular. Am I to understand that approval has been given to put a parking lot on Park Place? Kind of a yes or no, isn't it? Or is it under advisement or pending whatever approvals?
When you finish your comments, I'll answer that.
Okay, and pending whatever. Okay, just to cut to the chase and make the point, I think I've made that picture pretty clear. My concern is developing neighborhoods that are pretty sound, solid, old-time neighborhoods, allowing parking lots to infiltrate and intermingle with homeowners in the homes, and especially one short block, Park Place, that's landlocked, like I said before, with High Slop on Waltham on one end and then Highland on the other, makes a very short street with a lot of traffic coming out of that Park Place parking lot. And that's my concern. I'm not in favor of it. So with that, I just want to thank you again for allowing me to express my opinion, and we'll see what happens with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I promised Mr. Dillon an answer to his question, and the answer is that you approve this contingent on the petitioner obtaining a variance of use for the lot at 5948 Park Place. The procedure for that is that it goes to the BZA, who makes a recommendation to the city council. So as it stands right now, that's still a contingency that needs to be satisfied, that will be answered by the city council after the BZA makes its recommendation to it. Did that answer your question?
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Anyone else in the public for public comment? If not, we'll conclude the public comment. Entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second. All right. In favor?
Aye.